Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. This is Thursday, January 7th, coming to you live from a studio in Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-kyeon. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea is experiencing heavy snow and sub-freezing temperatures Thursday. Seoul is under a cold wave warning for the first time in 3 years, and Jeju is also under a cold wave warning for the first time in 57 years. In the U.S., the Democratic Party has won the 2 special Senate elections in Georgia, victories needed to snatch control of the Senate from the Republicans. Meanwhile, violence erupted on Capitol Hill as Trump supporters protested against the certification of Joe Biden's victory in the November 3rd election. And the European Union has given the green light for Moderna's vaccine, the second to be authorized in the EU after Pfizer and BioNTech's. Our top story today, due to a massive snowstorm on Wednesday night, roads and highways across Seoul were chaotic this morning, with numerous cars stranded and abandoned overnight on icy streets. On top of that, sub-freezing temperatures have caused ice to take hold, making this morning's commute equally as treacherous. For more, we connect to our Choi Jung-yun at the News Center. Jung-yun?
Hi, Mo-kyeon. The heavy snow that fell across large parts of South Korea on Wednesday night sparked chaotic scenes on the nation's roads and caused traffic gridlock. Drivers were forced to abandon their cars overnight as they were unable to move due to slippery roads and wheels being stuck in the snow. And actually, I was among those struggling to get home as I had to walk from Arirang to the nearest subway station, jostling through the swarming snowstorm. Things weren't better this morning. Due to temperatures dropping to as low as minus 17 degrees Celsius, roads were frozen, which also caused problems for those headed to work. From 7 a.m., usually a comparatively early time for congestion, subway stations were crowded with people heading to work early. On top of that, icy roads caused buses to run very slowly. As a countermeasure, Prime Minister Jong had ordered rush hours be adjusted and promised a thorough snow removal process throughout this morning to make sure there's less traffic disruption. Expecting more people to take public transportation, Seoul City also increased the number of buses running in the morning and extended bus operation times by 30 more minutes. Some 36 more subway services were extended as well. That's all I have at this hour. Back to you, Mo-kyeon.
Thank you for that, Jung-yun. We appreciate it. Now, for more on the severe winter weather that's gripping the country, let's connect with the Weather Center to look into the details. Ji-hyun, how far has the temperature plunged across the nation?
Good morning again, Mo-kyeon. Well, the season's coldest weather has gripped right across Korea, and Seoraksan Mountain feels close to minus 45 degrees Celsius this morning. And Seoul is under a cold wave warning for the first time in 3 years. Jeju is also under a cold wave warning for the first time in 57 years. What's more is the heavy buildup of snow. It stopped snowing here in Seoul with about 4 centimeters piling up, while mountainous regions on Jeju saw over 45 centimeters since yesterday, and snow keeps falling on Jeju and the Chungcheongdo and Jeollado provinces with a heavy snow advisory. So west of Jeollado province will see 30 centimeters more snowfall, while Ulleungdo and Dokdo could see heavy snow from this afternoon, so please be extra careful out on the roads. The roads will be covered with ice and snow. Even in the afternoon, it's not going to feel much milder. Most parts will have sub-zero afternoon highs, so we're only getting up to minus 11 degrees Celsius. Extreme cold weather continues through the weekend, while snow continues on Jeju and in the Jeollado provinces until early next week, so please stay safe.
Now on to the COVID-19 situation in the nation. South Korea's health authorities reported 870 new cases of COVID-19 on Thursday. Though the figure has dropped below the 1,000 mark again, officials remain on high alert as cluster infections continue at high-risk facilities such as nursing centers and hospitals. Of the new cases, 833 were locally transmitted, most in the greater Seoul area. 37 were from overseas. The total number of cases in South Korea is nearing the 67,000 mark. 19 more people have died, raising the death toll to 1,046. All foreigners entering South Korea must submit negative COVID-19 test results beginning Friday. According to Seoul's Central Disease Control Headquarters on Thursday, the test should be done a maximum of 3 days prior to their departure dates. The same applies to those entering the country through local ports starting January 15th. The latest measure comes as South Korea increases efforts to tame the fast-spreading COVID-19 variants. The country has so far confirmed 12 patients infected with the UK and South Africa-linked variants as of Tuesday. The European Commission has approved the use of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine in the EU, making it the second after Pfizer-BioNTech's to be authorized in the region. However, despite vaccination rollout picking up pace, many countries on the continent continue to witness devastating COVID-19 figures. Our Choi Min-jung has more.
The European Union has given the green light for Moderna's vaccine, the second to be authorized in the EU after Pfizer and BioNTech's. The European Commission on Wednesday approved the use of the second vaccine, following authorization from the European Medicines Agency. According to Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, the bloc has secured 160 million doses of the Moderna vaccine, which is enough to inoculate 80 million EU citizens. The first rollout is scheduled to begin next week, and all the doses are to be delivered by September 2021. The second safe and effective vaccine approved in the EU is expected to accelerate the rate of vaccination amid growing frustrations on slow vaccine rollout. However, despite progress being made in Europe's vaccination campaign, the pandemic in many countries is still far from over. Portugal on Wednesday identified over 10,000 COVID-19 cases for the first time since the outbreak began. The Czech Health Ministry also confirmed the highest single-day tally with over 17,000 cases reported in the past 24 hours. The UK has also reported a record number of cases, adding over 62,000 new cases on Wednesday alone. Britain also confirmed around 1,400 deaths on the same day. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
The Democratic Party will take control of the U.S. Senate, winning the 2 seats up for grabs in the Georgia runoff. It's good news for President-elect Joe Biden, who's set to take office in less than 2 weeks. But post-election challenges are likely to persist as violence erupted at Capitol Hill. Our Lee Kyung-un reports.
The Democratic Party has won the 2 special Senate elections in Georgia. Victories needed to snatch control of the Senate from the Republicans. NBC News reports that Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff defeated their GOP rivals Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. With Democrats making a 50-50 split in the chamber, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will have the tie-breaking vote. This gives the Democrats control of all 3 branches of government, the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the executive branch for the first time since 2009. The news came after the new Congress convened in Washington to officially certify Joe Biden's victory in the November 3rd election. A handful of Republicans debated the results in line with President Trump's claims of election fraud. But the Senate's top Republicans said Congress should not override the verdict.
The voters, the courts, and the states have all spoken. They've all spoken. If we overrule them, it would damage our republic forever.
But the ceremonial process was abruptly halted as supporters of President Trump stormed the Capitol building in protest against the certification. In a violent clash between protesters and police, 1 female protester was shot dead, lawmakers evacuated, and the National Guard was activated. Biden called it an unprecedented assault on the country.
Like so many other Americans, I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Threatening the safety of duly elected officials, it's not protest, it's insurrection.
With the blue wave in Congress, Biden will have a clear path to push ahead with his policies, but he will take the reins of power at a time of historic division in the United States. Jong-un, Arirang News.
Wednesday was the second day of North Korea's 8th Workers' Party Congress. After Kim Jong-un admitted the failure of his past economic development strategy on the first day, the regime has drawn up detailed plans and goals for the next 5-year plan. Our Kim Da-mi has more details.
On the second day of the Workers' Party Congress, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vowed to promote peace for his people by strengthening the regime's national defense. The North state-run media reported Thursday that the previous day's session clarified a crucial will to reliably protect national security, the North Korean people, and the peace environment of the regime's socialist foundation by raising its defense capabilities to a much higher level. Watchers note the North is sending a clear signal that the regime will continue to amplify its defense capabilities until peaceful relations are established with the U.S. But experts suggest Pyongyang could have kept details at a minimum to avoid antagonizing Seoul, Washington, and Beijing. In his opening address Tuesday, Kim Jong-un admitted that the regime's economy had immensely underachieved for the past 5 years. Following the rare admission, Day 2 was about establishing specific plans and goals for economic development for the next 5 years to come. The session covered an analysis of the main economic areas, including construction, commerce, and municipal management. Also discussed were ways to increase production in agriculture and aquaculture. Specific tasks were also suggested to boost scientific development. State media noted that it reflects strategic policies to take step forward in the North's socialist construction. Eyes are now on whether the North will send messages to Seoul and Washington in the coming days. Observers believe Thursday's session will cover topics like diplomatic relations and shoring up personnel within the party's leadership. Kim Da-mi, Arirang News.
Diplomats from South Korea departed for Tehran early Thursday in a bid to resolve the issue of the South Korean-flagged vessel recently seized by Iran. Prior to their departure, the diplomats said they will urge their Iranian counterparts to release the ship as quickly as possible. Our foreign affairs correspondent Yoon Jang-min has more.
On his way to Tehran Thursday, an official from Seoul's foreign ministry said he will be meeting with Iranian officials to try and negotiate the release of the South Korean vessel seized by Iran.
I will be meeting with my counterpart at Iran's foreign ministry and from the bilateral working group on humanitarian trade that I oversee. I plan to meet them through various channels if it helps to resolve the issue.
The Director General said the agenda will include verifying Iran's claims on what they claim was the technical issue for the seizure. While there, he will be also preparing for a visit to Tehran by Seoul's Vice Foreign Minister Jong-un in the coming days. The diplomat added he also plans to discuss Seoul-Tehran ties. On Tuesday, an Iranian foreign ministry spokesman said a visit hadn't been agreed upon as the issue will be dealt with through legal procedures. Earlier this week, Iran's Islamic Revolution Guards Corps seized a tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, citing environmental pollution. However, the ship's operator DM Shipping denied the claims. Iran insists the seizure was due to a technical issue, but it has complained publicly over assets frozen in South Korea worth around $7 billion. The money was seized after U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Yoon Jang-min, Arirang News.
Some of the major global investment banks have edged up their forecast for South Korea's GDP growth in 2021. According to the Korea Center for International Finance on Thursday, 9 investment banks predicted an average growth of 3.4% in December. That is a 0.1% jump from the previous month, led by Credit Suisse and HSBC's revised forecasts. The banks expect the global economy to grow by 5.7% this year. With the International Consumer Electronics Show just around the corner, Samsung Electronics launched its new premium TV, the Neo QLED, during a virtual event. The main talking point is not only the huge leap in technology, but also how the company aims to redefine the role of TV amid the pandemic. Our Kim Sang-min zooms into some of its features.
Samsung Electronics has unveiled its new TV, the new QLED, during its first ever virtual First Look event as it gears up for the International Consumer Electronics Show.
Well, I'm so glad the wait is over. that I can finally share this next level viewing experience with you. Let me introduce the Neo QLED.
Neo QLED is equipped with a quantum mini LED backlight, which is 1/40th the height of a conventional LED. This means that more LED lights are packed in layers, providing more advanced light and picture. Packed with smart features, the tech giant is aiming to redefine the role of television in consumer homes with this product, which has been radically changed due to the pandemic. Ordinary living spaces could now be turned into a gym, a movie theater, and even a class. People can check out their phones while working out, connect their work PC to the TV to create their own offices, and make a video call joined by up to 32 people at the same time. The new gadget will be available in 8K and 4K and will start rolling out globally from the first quarter. The latest release by the tech giant comes amid a global boom in the television market, largely driven by social distancing. Global TV shipments in the third quarter of 2020 amounted to some 62 million, a 12.9% jump on year. Among those, South Korea's two biggest TV producers took the largest market share by sales, with Samsung topping the list. Another noticeable trend is the recent boom in premium TV lines.
As more people work from home and spend more time with their families, they look into consumer electronics like TVs.
In fact, LG Electronics had also launched its new mini LED TV named QLED last month, firming up its two-way race with Samsung. The releases by the two companies are also expected to gain much attention in the upcoming CES, as the whole world is increasingly looking into consumer electronics that could improve their living style amid the pandemic. Kim Sung-min, Arirang News.
That's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. We'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
For the past month, COVID-19 has continued to spread through small-scale gatherings. The Ministry